Hello Internet, welcome back to RimWorld. It's a new day for me, so I don't really remember what I was doing. I'm pretty sure we're at the stage of the game where there isn't that much to do. Like we've already, well one, we obviously have secured enough food for the winter, that's no big deal. As long as we are able to continue hunting, this should be no problem. In fact, we're going to send them out. I think Muffalo would be good. More Muffalo leather, I believe it's called blue leather. Which, blue fur, my mistake, which will be primarily used for crafting clothing, I think. And yeah, I mean, we're to the point, we have a lot of characters, we have a lot of food, we have the power and defense largely taken care of. Pixie, are you... Did I make you do that? Should you be doing something else? Oh, hello, Echidna. What a great name. I really like that some of them are named after animals, because I think it really hammers home that they're tribe people. You know, I believe Meerkat was a tribal that we picked up and now is a colonist in a proper colony with proper technology. And I imagine the same thing went for Echidna here, unless Echidna is actually a name to someone somewhere, although I suspect that it is not. Agatha, if you're going to cook, please clean. And once her skill gets to 8, we will have her crafting the luxury meals. But currently she's not skilled enough to do so. Do we want to wake Whitlock up to talk to people? I kind of think we do. Get out of bed. Because he is honestly not super relevant to the colony, so even if he slept all day or was miserable, it wouldn't be a big deal. We have more colonists now, so I think him trying to stab someone would be less of an issue. Definitely going to sell some of these items we don't need. It is handy to have a Molotov around occasionally. Frag grenades I never really use. Tore up clothing I don't really need. Leather t-shirt, excellent, 77%. I think the lower tier percentages we want to get rid of. In fact, we can get rid of, oh, they have basically no money. So you really don't have anything I want. We could buy beer, but we're not going to do that. So we're not going to sell. Oh no, don't buy. Just do not sell this gear because we only want to get to, so we'll sell the worst of it. 177. Sure. I wish, is there a way to oversell it? Can I just give them this stuff? Because it'll improve our relations. Insufficient silver. Yeah, so here's 200 gold worth of stuff for free. Silver worth of stuff for free. Did nothing for our reputation, which surprises me. Why don't we gift them some things? I would like to improve relations just because I don't know what all improving relations. Oh, that was their stuff that was in not great condition. Well, here you, oh no, that's them as well. I was going to say you can have these synthread pants. You can have leather pants. And you can have, no, those are the ones we just sold. You can have a bolt action as well. Actually, this is the wrong screen. We'll go to gift, leather pants, and you can have 2 bolt action rifles. Offer gifts. So we got a little bit of a reputation bump, obviously not very much. So today I have come in with a plan. Today we're going to talk about evolution, I think, because I was thinking about this off camera and it seemed like a good thing to bring up in RimWorld. We really need to deal with these chickens as well. I wish they would buy chickens. We're not going to name all these chickens. We're going to keep the hens and we're going to keep like 1 rooster, maybe 2 roosters to impregnate the hens and give us fertilized eggs, and then we'll probably breed them and sell them as we go. 20 gold. I mean, we're getting gold in, which is also very good because it's a very expensive material. Yeah, I was thinking about evolution. So maybe we won't talk about it this episode. I'll probably just give backstory and talk about why I was thinking about it in the first place. But so RimWorld has these creatures. And it's a mix of, like, you know, real world creatures, you know, boars and turkeys, and fantasy creatures like the boomalope or the muffalo. And it got me thinking about how hard it is to create animals that make sense in sci-fi games and films and television. Because oftentimes it's either ridiculous, like Avatar. I know some people love Avatar. I think it's one of the stupidest movies I've ever seen. The concepts in that are obviously ridiculous fantasy creatures. There's no evolutionary chain that would lead to people breeding with ponytails or whatever. It never made sense to me. Always really bothered me. Incapacitated. I don't think we've seen one of these before. Request help. She is wounded, unable to move. Without your help, she will die in 9 days. 53-year-old herbalist. She promises to join you if you rescue her. She says there may be danger there. Well, it depends how far you are. I really don't want another colonist, but an herbalist is probably a good planter, but we don't need that. We have 2 planters that are pretty okay, and I think we're just going to leave her to die. Maybe someone else will rescue her. That's how I'm going to cop out and pretend that it's fine, is that maybe someone else will rescue her. So Avatar really bothered me because the evolutionary path there never made sense to me. Why would these creatures, why would that be how they, there's no foundation in reality, and so it really bothered me. And I see that a lot in sci-fi where, like, yeah, you come up with an interesting idea for a creature or a planet or whatever, but then when it comes, Meerkat, I know you're not over there drinking. How about this, Meerkat? No beer. We're a dry colony. We don't drink or do drugs on this colony. So we'll forbid that. I don't know if that constitutes drugs to the point where they would burn it, but whatever, it's fine. Animal starvation. That is concerning. We're going to go ahead. Why did I suspend kibble? I bet I did. I did not. It's because we changed turtle. We'll put cooking back to a 2. And that should trigger her to do that because she's probably out cutting. Ah, that's right. We had her working on stone. So now she'll go make kibble. So we'll get the animals taken care of. Yeah, I really need to... we could cull the animals. Honestly, we could just cull the animals so that we have fewer animals eating all the food and such. Like, look, they're just demolishing the kibble. Let's do that. We're going to cull a few roosters. It's just too many chickens. 1, 2, 3. So many roosters as well, which I guess makes sense. You would default to giving us a lot of roosters because they're only good for meat, whereas the chickens will produce eggs, which could quickly overwhelm a colony with a lot of free food, basically. So I've always disliked a lot of the evolutionary choices in things because so when I write a book, it has to make sense to me, like every aspect. So like recently, I was writing the beginning of a novel, which I've now kind of bailed on. Oh, boomalopes coming in. They're going to explode when they hit the traps. They must be coming in here for food. I don't really see any other reason why they would be coming in here. If we melee this to death, will it... Why don't we rescue the boomalope? We can keep a boomalope. Yeah, they came in to eat. So if I can mark these as hunting, I go back and forth between... It died while we were carrying it back to base. Okay, that makes sense. Destroyed her kidney. That's old, actually. Someone put Pixie out. What are you doing? Put her out. Pixie, stop moving. She's not listening because she's on fire. I mean, I don't blame you. Colonist needs treatment. Pixie and Meerkat. Meerkat, did yours explode as well? Or did we save one? Oh, I didn't think about this. Bringing it in here could have been really dangerous. Death in 1 hour. It's going to explode and kill our animals. Whitlock, go tend to the animal. Oh no, what did we do? Please don't die. Oh god, please don't die. It's so close. 9 seconds. Oh god. 10 seconds. Oh. Okay. Okay. So that was okay. Rat self-tamed. You know what you do with a rat that self-tames? You kill it. Because you don't want a rat on the colony. They can't fight. They can't do anything. I would like you to come murder this boomalope, everybody. Who's not in bad condition? Turtle's asleep. We'll leave Turtle alone. You all come out here, please, and murder this boomalope so that it's less of a danger. Oh, it went to sleep. I mean, murder it in its sleep. That's fine. I mean, that's how I want to go. I want to go to sleep and wake up being shot repeatedly. I think is how I want to end my life. Okay, tattered apparel. Who's wearing tattered apparel? Agatha. Why? We maybe didn't set her to trade clothings when it's in low condition. We may also not have clothing. We don't currently have clothing for her, so she'll be unhappy nudity if we do that. So for the time being, we will leave her on anything, and we should set up her work schedule as well. I don't think it's a big deal to have them do whatever, but I think it's important to give them some structure. So we won't do that, and then we will unsuspend these, which Pixie will work on eventually. Okay. No idea what so I hate when there are loopholes to enemies. I mean, and we get an AI persona core. I don't know what that does. They asked us to destroy it. It's only 2 enemies? It's real far, though. Okay, let's see how far this is. 4 days. I don't think I can do that right now. We don't have the food. Volcanic winter. Ash in the atmosphere will obscure the sun. Temperatures will drop and plants will suffer for lack of sunlight. I mean, it's already winter and the plants are all dead. And cargo pods. Stop throwing events at me. I'm trying to have a conversation. Nutramine we will definitely take. Because we can turn that into proper medicine. So when I write a story, I feel like I have to close all the loopholes. Anytime that there's a plot hole, it drives me crazy. We can release this guy, right? This is her father. We just picked him up because we didn't want him to die. No, don't recruit. Release him. We didn't actually want him. He doesn't really have anything going on. He's lazy. He's a psycho. We don't want him at the colony. So we're just going to release him. So like recently I was writing the beginning of a novel, which I don't think I'm going to do anything with. It's fine. I just don't really want to do anything with it. Why is there no herbal medicine here? Medicine. Why is no one doing that? Expand zone? No, we want it to be primarily in the freezer, but yeah, we can move this to critical, so they'll actively move things to fill there. I was writing this piece, and it starts off with them in a ship, and it's like they're going to... Well, it doesn't matter what they're doing, but they're in a spaceship, and the story takes place in a spaceship for like literally 2 pages, not even. And it's like, even though it's such a small part of that story, I felt so driven to make sure that it's correct. Like so basically they're in a spaceship, and they're going to... What am I doing? Turn her turtle back down on cooking so that she's not constantly cooking. How are we doing on kibble? Why are you defaulting to that instead of making kibble? I want you to make kibble. And they're going to this space station in a ship, and part of that is like they dock with the space station. Now the space station is enormous, and it's spinning to generate gravity, and so they're docking with this spinning station. And so I was trying to wrap my head around, okay, if gravity is being generated by spin, that means it's the outward edge of the station is the bottom, is the floor, right? Because you're being thrown outwards, and that simulates gravity. Terrace and Agatha. Okay. I mean... Terrace and Agatha's room. Okay, so we've opened up a new room, which is good, because this is no one's bedroom anymore. And I was trying to wrap my head around, okay, if the force is being generated outward towards the ground, like towards the exterior of the station, when they dock with the station, if they dock with a rotating piece of the station, that means like trying to line up where would the port be and how would they transfer goods and cargo between. So these eggs are going to die because they're in a freezer. The temperature is going to be too low and the eggs will die. How do you build a ship around, okay, I need to dock with this, and where do you put the is it going to be a lift, is it going to be a dock? Because once you connect to the station, the gravity in the ship itself is going to be redirected. Does that make sense? And so I was really struggling with how this ship would be designed, but I spent a lot of time thinking about it, because to me it's important to get that kind of stuff right. If you're going to write a story, you kind of need to hammer down the logistics of it so that it at least makes sense. Being chased, cave tender. I have no idea what that profession would be. He's being chased by quite a lot of people, which probably would bring us in a lot of money to kill all those people, but I don't think we want another colonist. So once again, I feel like these raids are getting more significant, like the number of enemies there. Go frenzy, he will move faster. Okay. How are we doing on... I was having her make components so that she would stop making assault rifles, but we can go ahead and unsuspend that to get the last couple of assault rifles for our crew. And I often read books where they don't think about those things, and you end up with these nonsensical... like, they just don't make sense. And again, Avatar is my go-to example, because it was billed as like this enormous, massive sci-fi movie that's this, oh, moving story, and it's such a unique world. And it's like, yeah, but that world never made sense to me. That world never felt like a real place to me. It always felt like some ridiculous fantasy, like it was a cartoon, rather than... Female boomalope, why are you not generating milk? I thought you could milk boomalope. Maybe just because she's so injured? We'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. Still haven't culled these chickens, by the way. I probably don't have anyone on animal handling, like as a priority. Pixie kind of is, but she has other stuff she's always doing. Meerkat, who else is good with animals? Oh, you're pretty good with animals. We'll put animals at a 2 for her. Train, harvest, and slaughter. Yeah. Because she's really not doing anything else. She's like defaulting to cleaning, I think, because we really don't have other stuff for her to do. What, I mean, cleaning is fine. Cleaning is important as well. Okie doke, so she'll be our animal handler, which is fine. And, so I was thinking about RimWorld, because I was thinking about the creatures here. Yeah, the hay grass is gonna die, that's okay. I didn't think any of it was harvestable. Looks like some of it had been, but that's okay. Thinking about RimWorld and the wildlife, and I was thinking about how they stuck, like, they're kind of in the middle ground. Some of them make sense, some of them don't. So we crash land on a RimWorld, which means it's like an outer planet that's not really... Right, the whole premise of this is that it's not really colonized. There are some tribal groups, small colonies, but it's not like a proper... It's not Earth, right? It's not a massive civilization that is filled with people. And so it stands to reason that if humans settled here in any capacity, they would bring certain animals with them. They would bring things like rabbits to breed for food, because rabbits are a relatively low maintenance, high multiplying species that is good for meat. Makes sense that they would bring chickens because of egg production and things like that. Oh, it's the great chicken slaughter. Murder the chickens. We're running out of freezer space, by the way. These eggs are going to pile up real fast. Because we have, I mean, we only have, what, 2 hens? 3 hens? 2 hens. And they're going to produce an awful lot of eggs. Please don't leave the corpses in the barn. Thank you, Terrace. At least you have some sense. And I just, it makes sense that they would bring those creatures with them. What doesn't make as much sense is why deer would be here. And things like grizzly bears. Like, if we were populating a new planet with human, Earth-based species, we would bring prey animals that we would domesticate for harvesting. So, like cows, chickens. Is that a spike trap killed something? A boar? I mean, you shouldn't have been there, boar. Every time we kill another animal that is not a meat type we already have, we end up filling our freezer even more. I think maybe we should expand our... What exploded? Little baby boom rat? Okay. I mean, I wish you guys would stop coming in here. There's nothing for you in here. There's not even any plants anymore. We'd bring chickens and we'd probably bring pets, dogs and cats. But I don't think we would bring cougars, lynxes, all that crazy crap that we've seen. Why would we bring predators to a RimWorld? They couldn't have been already here because they're identical to Earth-based species. We wouldn't call it a timber wolf if it was not very specifically a timber wolf. And there's always going to be some exotic animal trade, but never enough. Sloth, are you dead? How did you die? What on earth killed a megasloth? Dead for a day and a half. And they're eating it. I don't know what killed that. Maybe the boom rats overwhelmed it? That seems super unlikely. I mean, we're going to forbid it. It's going to have a lot of wool. Well, no, we would get leather from it. But it's going to have a lot of meat and a lot of wool. But we just don't have capacity for this stuff. And we want... Okay, we want our food to be near the kitchen so that they don't have to walk very far to get materials to cook. We're full of chicken corpses. Jeez. We could store... we could create a separate freezer just for vegetables. So we could clear space out of here. But I don't want that. It would make more sense to just expand the existing freezer. But we've built ourselves into a corner. We can't really do that. We could expand down, I suppose. But we would unfreeze. Well, it's cold enough outside that they would stay frozen. Let's expand our freezer. We're probably going to need to put a third freezer into it, which is fine. Go ahead and structure. Are our heaters on, by the way? I don't want anything to freeze to death. Okay. I guess we expand. I mean, we don't necessarily need a bigger one. It just would make life a little bit easier. Do we want to go all the way down? 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, that's quite large already. I'm worried about the amount of... I'm worried about the amount of space and how much it's going to take to cool it in the summer. I mean, if we're going to do it, we're going to double wall it. Should be fine. Remove this one. And we'll go doors, slate door. Okay, cancel this one. And then we will build, again, like a secondary airlock. Airlock, another door into the kitchen, or into the freezer. Should be fine. We're going to deconstruct. We're going to... Oh, we can't Okay, so we'll build this elsewhere now. We don't want it in front of the... Put it over here. Sure. Just because it's outdoors, it doesn't really matter. Because we use it so infrequently. So we should be getting those out of the way. I mean, it's not the way I would have liked to do things, but it's okay. We actually need fridges or freezers, so we'll cancel this, cancel these two. No, we'll leave. I mean, it doesn't matter. And then I would like to put one in a different area, but it's all interior, so if we set up a cooler, it's going to spit out hot air into another room, which we don't want. So maybe on the side here we can just, or we could do it up here. But then we would deconstruct and it would be exposed temporarily to the outside. I actually don't, we're using a lot of slate. We might run out of bricks before we can do everything, and they might end up leaving a gap in the wall. I mean, statistically, it's unlikely. What we could do, we'll just leave it. We'll leave it as that for now, and we'll set up. Can we reinstall these? No, we would have to build them from scratch. Okay, so we'll go ahead and build some freezers, although we want to wait to do that one. Nope, that is exactly the opposite direction that we want it to face. Get this turned around, get the cooler set up. And then we will set up one here, and we'll set up one here once we get this structure moving. Okay. So it never made sense to me that they would pull boars to this new planet in enough numbers that they actually procreate and become a pretty dominant species. A pretty, not dominant, prevalent species. Now, rats are going to follow you everywhere you go, right? They're going to end up, just like moving from the old world to the new world, they hopped on ships and things like that. But some of this stuff makes no sense. A timber wolf is not going... No one's going to import timber wolves to the point that they actually breed and become a common species on the planet. No one is going... Maybe doe. Maybe you think, like, oh, for their beauty and because they're good animals, we'll turn them loose on a new planet and we'll see what they do. But these big apex predators, a grizzly bear? Are you kidding me? You know how terrifying a grizzly bear is? I would never. No one would bring them in enough numbers that they would breed. Meerkat is fighting with Turtle. Why does no one like Turtle? Turtle, you're my favorite. Opinion of my wife, Kimmy. Serious pain. I mean, Turtle can handle herself. She'll beat your ass. Turtle slandered Meerkat's father's friends. Now, Turtle, why would you say that? I thought you two were friends. No one likes Turtle. I mean, fight it out, you idiots. Thankfully, we have enough hands in the colony now that losing a couple people for a day or two is not a super big deal. Still sucks. So yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. And then the other creatures in the game, how can we milk this thing? It's not generating, maybe because it's still injured, it's not generating any harvestable. Wait a minute. It was the men. The males generate chem fuel and milk. The females don't, if I'm remembering right. Okay, so we have this thing that is now a danger to the colony because if it dies, it's going to hurt our animals. I'm not sure how it got assigned to this. Oh, it's not even our animal. It's just hanging out because we rescued it. It'll probably leave when it's fully healed. Okay, and we got our last couple assault rifles. So who doesn't have an assault rifle? You don't need one. You have the chain shotgun, which is pretty good. Whitlock, grab one. Turtle, you have one. Kimmy has one. Meerkat does not. Terrace does. Agatha has a bolt. I would rather Agatha have this because she currently has a bolt action. The shotgun is at least better than nothing. So we have a pretty good kill squad going on. And like the fantasy creatures fluctuate between making sense and not making sense. Like the Muffalo, obviously inspired by buffalo. They're big old cow, bison looking things. First step to building a ship. Okay, launching the ship. And dangerous. Many desperate souls went off the planet. Ship reactors take 15 days to charge up. Once you begin the process, the reactor will emit an energy source detectable from thousands of kilometers away. Raiders will flock to you to attack you in waves with an intensity you've never seen. Mechanoids are also known to be attracted. It won't start until you activate your ship's reactor, but when it does, it'll be ferocious. You'll need to stockpile resources, weapons, and defense. Yeah, I hate that, actually. Because I built a colony, I'm going through all this research. Building it is a nightmare because of the materials required. At that point, I earned it. Just let me get off the freaking ship, or off the planet. It shouldn't take 15 days. I actually hate that about this game. One of my least favorite aspects of the game. You're literally forced to a combat situation. Even if you were playing casually with low-tier storytellers, it's still going to force you into those encounters. I think that's real shitty. Why even give you the option of playing a more casual game if you're still going to be forced into those combat situations? So really, really dislike that about the game. Anyway, I think we've talked. The buffaloes, I mean, they're basically buffaloes but blue, and they have a lot of wool. So it's obvious that this is based on an Earth, close creature to Earth. But a boomalope is nonsense. Like, there's nothing I know of in nature that generates anything volatile inside of its own body, like explosive and combustible inside of its own body. Obviously, all humans and most creatures have stomach acid, which is, arguably a high energy generating substance. Like, we use that to generate energy for our bodies. And so, it's vaguely plausible, but like when you get to the point where it literally outputs chem fuel, which is a chemical fuel, and it explodes on death, setting things on fire. Nothing in nature exists like that, so that's always bothered me. What else do we got? Well, like the giant sloth, again, is an Earth-like creature that is just gigantized for the sake of, having something big and cool. The, what are they called? Thrumbos. They basically look like a Final Fantasy summon creature. So I'm not a big, I guess it's vaguely unicorny as well. So, it's not impossible to find something that would be a what's the word? Dendrophile, I believe. They eat trees, I think is the word for that. Makes sense, some animals do, eat cellulose type stuff. 2 of your colonists have gotten the flu. I mean, just go rest. Why are you up and about? Why aren't you resting? Cutting stone blocks from chunks. Oh, our beds are full because of these idiots getting in a fight. I think you're fine to work today, Turtle. So give Pixie a chance to rest. Go eat. Okay, I mean, you can eat. Oh, Turtle is eating and then she's going to go back to bed. No. No, that's the wrong button. No. Turtle. Let Pixie do whatever she wants to do. Go to bed, Pixie. Yes. Resting. Yes. Okay, now Turtle, you can undo so you can... I mean, she's just going to go lay in bed. Okay, that's fine. You know, we should call the episode. I didn't talk about really what I wanted to talk about, but that's okay. So next episode, we'll talk about a little bit more about evolution. It just bothers me when things don't have an easy explanation. Like Muffalos, totally plausible, totally could exist. Explodey... Why is there a hole in my wall? Why is there a hole in my wall? Okay, well, that's something that needs to be fixed immediately. Why is there a hole there? Vaughn, please kindly construct this. And then you can fix the windmill thing. I want to do this before I end the episode. Otherwise, I might forget and we might end up having a hole. Okay. So we're going to call the episode there. I'll be back with more RimWorld in the near future. We'll talk some more in the next episode. So for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.